first visible sign of emotion. So the thinking goes, one should stiffen their upper lip to hide emotion. These people resist feeling what they consider to be unfeelable feelings churning inside of them. When an acquaintance, coworker, or neighbor asks, "How have you been?" many people reflexively respond with fine or some benign equivalent. But if they told the truth, they'd say, "I'm mad as a hornet," or "I'm down in the dumps," or "I'm worried to death." Maybe we're afraid of admitting our vulnerabilities, but here's the truth. These emotions are not bad. They're not a sign of weakness or unhealth. Emotions are good, and some of them are even godly. God created us with a mind to think, yes, but also with a heart to feel. As the late British pastor and author John Stott wrote, "We are to be neither such emotional Christians that we never think, nor such intellectual Christians that we never feel. No, God made us human beings, and human beings are by creation both rational and emotional. Whenever I had a meltdown as a child, my dad told me, 'Big boys don't cry.' Well, since every little boy wants to be a big boy, I'd muster enough resolve to turn off the waterworks and dry my eyes." Years later, I repeated this phrase to my eldest son when he fell and skinned his knee. It must have made an impression on him because when he grew up, he went to law school and now jokes, "Big boys don't cry, they sue." The truth is, both boys and girls should cry sometimes, whether they're big or small. While great poker players may be good at hiding their emotions, life is not a card game. We humans are creatures with feelings, and at the right time and in the right place and in the right way, it's appropriate and healthy to express even the most challenging emotions. If we reflexively avoid or ignore those feelings, we do so at our peril. Christians like me know that even Jesus Christ was an emotional person. And according to the record of his life in the New Testament Gospels, he regularly displayed an array of emotions. Jesus exhibited burning anger toward religious hypocrites and money changers who were extorting the poor in the temple courts. He experienced such stress in the Garden of Gethsemane that he literally sweat drops of blood. And on the cross, abandoned by nearly all of his followers, Jesus felt overwhelming loneliness when even his heavenly Father turned his back on him. You may be familiar with his cross-bound cry, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew 27:46. So if you're an emotional person, congratulations. You're in good company. Idolizing feelings. Idolizing feelings is the other extreme. Many people today are hyper-focused on their emotions. They believe that expressing them anywhere and at any time and in any way is good. Groves said some people think they need to express yourself at any cost, and that's why they value getting it off your chest, letting off steam, just being honest, and so on. They call this authenticity, but sometimes it's just poor judgment. If you don't believe me, check your social media feeds, which no doubt too often include a torrent of uncontrolled emotional posts that keep the water in the pot of human feelings relentlessly boiling. 7 in 10 Americans use social media, and so many of them seem ready and willing to share their unfiltered feelings. This tendency is just as unhealthy as the impulse to stuff all your emotions inside and pretend they don't exist. Learn to control your emotions. Rather than ignore feelings or idolize your emotions, it's crucial that you learn to control them. If you don't control them, they'll control you. Uncontrolled emotions can ruin your marriage and harm your children. They can destroy your friendships and ruin your job prospects. They can even erode your health. In recent years, doctors have learned about what's called the mind-body connection, and we now know a person's emotional life can have profound effects on their physical well-being. In his book, Deadly Emotions, Dr. Don Colbert shares what medical science has found. Certain emotions release hormones into the physical body that in turn can trigger the development of a host of diseases. Researchers have directly and scientifically linked emotions to hypertension, cardiovascular disease, and diseases related to the immune system. Research has linked emotions such as depression to an increased risk of developing cancer and heart disease. Emotions such as anxiety and fear have shown a direct tie to heart palpitations, mitral valve prolapse, irritable bowel syndrome, and tension headaches. The stakes for this conversation about emotions then could not be higher. Learn what God says about emotions. I love my Christian counselor